Time to find out where all the good music is going to be this upcoming weekend, and that's the reason we call on the talents of one Chad Taylor from band Bombshell to give us the skinny on what's going on musically.
Good morning, guys.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How's it going?
Good, good. Sweating a little bit, but get used to it.
It's going to be another warm one, huh? Man. I know it's like September 3rd, but still, it's September now. Stop it. All right, so some interesting things to talk about coming up in the next few weeks. First of all, a very interesting show at Hoyt Sherman was announced this week. They've announced some really interesting things coming up for the fall, but now coming up in October, Foghat.
Really? No way!
Is coming to Hoyt Sherman Place.
Wow.
So, yeah, Foghat.
Man, I haven't seen them in
Slow
years.
Ride.
Yeah.
The Slow Ride people.
That's them.
The first song I ever played on the radio at KRNL in Mount Vernon, Iowa, 36.8 powerful watts.
The Colonel.
So,
wow.
Yeah, October 29th, that show is going to be. Tickets go on sale tomorrow. They'll range between $35 and $65, depending on where you want to sit in your package, that whole thing. But yeah,
that's cool.
It seems like a strange fit for Hoyt Sherman, but
is it an acoustic set?
Not that I've heard. But on the, so it's an interesting fit. But at the same time, I think it's really cool that they're kind of branching out and trying some stuff that you wouldn't necessarily think of as being a Hoyt Sherman show. So
that is really interesting.
Yeah,
I'm digging that. So
check
maybe
that
talk
out.
them into coming in early. They can come play on.
There you go.
Play Slow Ride on the soundstage.
And if you get a second, go to HoytSherman.com and just check out everything else they've got coming up, because there are some really interesting shows happening there in the next 2.5, 3 months. So
we saw a great guitarist on the show, Tommy Emmanuel's going to come
He's going to come back
in December
Christmas.
to Hoyt Sherman.
Yep, Tommy Emmanuel's going to be back there. Lyle Levitt's coming back. So yeah, there's some really good stuff happening over at Hoyt Sherman basically over this fall. Also coming up this week here, Studio One, which is the IPR's local music show, has been broadcasting now out of the basement bar on a fairly regular basis. And so they've got their next one coming up tonight, featuring Twins, which is a fantastic little kind of pop band out of the Quad Cities. Really, really great stuff. If you haven't heard them yet, this is a really great chance to get an opportunity to. It's free. Everything starts at 7 o'clock. Get down there. It's a very small, kind of an intimate place, and it's a live broadcast. So it's kind of a neat little chance to kind of get a chance to hear them in a little different format. A couple of different shows also to talk about here. We've got. First off, coming up on September 4th, Friday, Extra Vision is going to be playing at Vaudeville Muse. Again, another really fun local band. They've got Brooks Strauss, Cold Winds, and In Rooms, which are all local bands playing here with them as well. It's $5 to get that. And anytime you get more than 2 or 3 bands for $5, it's a pretty good chance to get out and kind of see some local music and find some stuff that you wouldn't ordinarily hear. So that's Vaudeville Muse. Tomorrow, 9:30 is when the doors open, 10 o'clock for the show. Nice little chance to check that out. Also, the Maximum Ames Music Festival is happening next week.
Okay.
But in gearing up for that, Lefty's Live Music is having a showcase with 2 of the bands. It's going to be Anna Libera and Foxholes are going to play. That's also tomorrow. And Anna Libera especially is a fantastic outfit. Anna Gebhardt fronts that, and she has just an amazing voice. She's a great songwriter. They're very kind of dream poppy. Really, really fun act. Their new album was released earlier this year, and it's fantastic.
I think they've been on the show.
They have been on the show, and so have Foxholes.
So there you go. And again, $5 for that is a really great chance. And I can't stress enough, if you haven't been to Lefty's yet, this is a great chance to go. Lefty's is an amazing venue, great, probably the best sound in the city. It looks fantastic. It's in an area that's been kind of underserved as far as music venues go for a number of years. So give that a shout out. And then one last thing to talk about on band Bombshell. Last February, we did a project called Completely Covered, where we picked a song and had bands cover that.
Right.
Series 2 started yesterday. So we've got a new song. We've got 10 new bands. Our first artist was James Bean, so his song is now up live on the site right now. We're going to release a new one each week, every Wednesday for the next 9 weeks. So get a chance to check that out, bandbombshell.com.
That sounds like a plan.
Do that.
Wonderful. Now, what'd you write about this week in the paper?
Oh man! So last week was Guar, and it was really hard to kind of follow that.
A lot of people followed that after we talked about that. I'm glad you said something about that because people were grabbing copies of that because of that.
There you go. This week locally is Sarah Routh.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah, we know her.
New release.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Got her new release coming up. She's got a show this weekend at Gaslamp. She's gonna have her release CD release party in 2 weeks, I believe, over at Lefty's. So I talked to her a little bit, and then I'm trying to think who I talked to nationally. Man, I'm drawing a blank. I should write this stuff down.
But Sarah's the important one.
But Sarah's the important one.
Yeah.
Sarah's fairly new, moved back to town and kind of getting a feel for her home city again, and it's a really good story.
That is good. Excellent. Perfect. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, man. See you next week. It is 7:29. We'll